Yeah, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Let's start the meeting in few after few more minutes and let everyone join. We will discuss what progress we have done so far and also till then why not we start with by introducing all the people who are here. Bobby also joined, so we can definitely start. Hi Bobby.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Sorry, I
Good
was a few
morning.
minutes late. Um,
Yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone.
uh, Tripor, did you talk to Gianluca and he's going to be either late or not coming today? Is that what I understand?
Yeah. So we will go through the slides one, and if anyone has any questions or anything, we can address them.
Perfect. Okay, I'll leave it in your good hands and take it away.
Okay. So hello everyone on May 6th of Hyperledger AI FAQ meeting, and we respect everyone and also please follow the guidelines. So we already know how can we join our Monday meetings. It's on the calendar on wiki page, and like anything else, like anyone has any problem regarding this, like you were not able to find your pages that Bobby demonstrated in the last meeting, or you were not able to log in your wiki pages or anything, everything was clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the main topics will be RISCV meeting, where we asked them to test our uh, project, and they did it, and they will get back to us in few weeks. Also, the test results, we reduced the time from 30 seconds to 10 seconds, so that's a win for us. And then we will talk about the Hyperledger mentorship program and how we are moving forward with that, and any Q&A that you have for us, and then in like the team that we currently are here that will be mentoring you. So this is about how other open source communities and people that are interested with us. So we had our RISC meeting on 30th April, where they will test the system and then they will contact us and let us know how they want to get involved. And Linux Foundation also want to join the project, and they will also support us. We got the feedback like useful for new users who joined an open source project, and developers needs instructions and code samples. So basically moving forward, we will uh, make our documentation more in depth for the new developers who are joining us, so that they can understand which code base is in regards to what. So basically this feedback is for that. And as I've already mentioned, Gianluca has tried to test the uh, POC on GPU 24 GB, and response time got decreased from 30 seconds to 10 seconds with no timeout errors. So this was a really good win for us, as it was like taking like we wanted to reduce the time of the response. Now this is very important for everyone who has joined the meeting, because everyone is waiting for how the procedure will be going to happen for the mentorship program of 2024. And basically we have 4 more days left for the application period, and after that we will not be like accepting any more applications from anyone. And then after that we will review our application, we will contact you, we will have interviews with you from 30th May to 24 May, and then you will be informed by 27th to 31st of your acceptance, and in which team you got selected. So this week maybe like in we will assign you under, like we if we see potential for like if you applied for a technical role but we gave you another role because we thought that that will be more beneficial for you, so that could happen, but it won't happen because we want you to have the team that you want rather than us to assign you. And same as all
And
meetings will be on
Shapur,
Monday. Yeah.
I just want to jump in here for just a second. And those interviews, there are three, maybe four of us who will be doing the interviews. We will ask the same questions. And we will have plenty of times for you to select. So don't worry about your time zone and our time zone. It'll be a Zoom call. We'll send you the link in advance. And there's really no pressure. It's not who gets the first interview wins. We're really going to contemplate and think over the great interviews that we're hopefully going to have and make value decisions. So don't worry, that's all coming up. Your applications are being reviewed by Min now, so we'll have answers for you soon. Thank you. Sorry, Tripur.
Yeah, for sure. um, Next, moving forward, the main goal of the mentorship will be building an open source framework for an AI chatbot which replies to the questions related to an online documentation. We have already discussed about it. We are going like reviewing this for the new members who have joined the meeting today, and the use cases will be like for the users, developers, team members who should avoid to read tons of documents, and customer service and all those things. So this is the current version, which for our AI FAQ, which looks like this. So we want to make an like a different website, like whole new interface for this, and more interactive, more like good looking in terms of like for the users. And this is the current version, so we will be like taking this to another level and making our own other website from where we will be linking the code base of the like this existing one, and then they will get the result in a more like beautified manner and everything. So our end goal is to have a more usable system installed on a cloud server. This is our second goal, and with acceptable time response and implementation costs. So this will be our second goal, and the first goal for the starting will be making the framework of the project. So these will be the learning outcomes. As everyone know, you will be able to learn about LLM background technology, JavaScript language, frameworks, and basics of front end development. Most probably React JS will be used, and then cloud architecture and development. We mostly will be moving with Docker uh, and using that on the initial stages. And after that, you will be able to learn about how to create high quality documentation, and this is for people who don't want to be on the technical side. So we can start you can also go with documentation and technical writing, so where we learn about it. And expected outcomes and deliverables will be LLM prototype with acceptable time response and implementation cost, front end component prototypes, sample container architecture, and good quality documentation, which basically you will have these outcomes and deliverables that we have to show at the end of the program. This is week by week distribution, how mentorship will going to work, and on the first week how we are going to move forward as those people who will get selected in the mentorship, how will we start our project and from where. So on the first week we will start with simple project introduction and LLM background, basically understanding all the code base for the people who will be joining on the code technical side. And those who will not be joining on the technical sides, like technical writing or marketing or management side, they will that also simple introduction for all those people who are new to the project. Basically all the mentors will be introducing themselves, all the workbook will be distributed. That's the like objective of the first week. Then the second week will be introduction to JavaScript and frameworks, which is going more into the technical side, and then moving forward with the front end development basics, front end for chatbots and all that stuff in the fourth week. So this is like the simple architecture, like first idea which Gianluca came up with, and basically it will be like front end with JavaScript framework, and then services like API services, LLM. These are the services that we will be using. Then history in data in memory database, KB vector database, and all. So he will be able to explain this in more detail when he will join us in our maybe next meeting on next Monday. Oh, he's here
Oh,
only.
yes. Hello, everyone. Sorry, Tripur. Yeah. Uh, if you want, I can explain that architecture, but more in general, the tools that and technologies that we can investigate during this program to improve, in order to improve the system. Okay, we think a different architecture, which is where the API is related to the inference part. So when the user asks a question to the chatbot, and the other part is related to the ingestion of the documentation provided by the user. For example, the RAG part for the context, and also other container, because this is the idea is to have a Docker container architecture, other container related to in-memory database for the the history of the conversation, and the vector database for the knowledge base. And the last one, the front end, is to have, the idea is to have a more standard user interface. For example, using some JavaScript framework like React or Angular. React is in my opinion, the best solution in order to have a prototype which can be installed in cloud server and can be used from different users and also organizations. And yeah, I see lots of questions in the chat. Source model, yes. Also, I think. Okay, yeah. About this slide, because I checked the current notebook, Jupyter notebook, in converted in a Python script using more RAM, and the response is quite good, about less than 10 seconds compared to 30 seconds. And so I want to share that result with you, with all the people in the meeting. Also, another good information is I met another open source community which require the system for a new user. So it's important to have a chatbot which replies to questions related to documentation, but also for the future, they asked us to think another use case, which is the a chatbot which provide instructions and code samples. It's very important thing for us, but we will think about that in the future. And okay, next slide. Yeah, this is next a previous a first example about it is an image in Discord channel. A guy proposed a user interface which is good also for mobile application, and I'd like to share with other people. So it seemed a very first example of user interface where chatbot replies to question, and also we will see the history of the chat, like ChatGPT. It's an example, but we will think during the program we will think our solution, and we will implement that. And also, yes, I think we finished. Yeah, this are some question that I replied last time. Okay, and based on the interview. Okay, try to reply some question because I received. Um, I have the first question about the program. Is the selection criteria based on an interview that will be scheduled later? Can you explain the Docker part? Okay, Docker part. It's about technical part. Docker part very easy. I mean, if we think a system that can be installed easily on a cloud server, in my opinion, the best solution is to have Docker architecture, which can be can run on a cloud server. The installation is pretty automatic in that case, and so in that way, other organizations can try the system. But that requires that we will split the architecture in a modular way, and
Did we lose you, Gianluca?
Yeah, I guess.
sorry, because the connection is not the best today. Yeah, it's not the best today.
No worry.
Okay, yeah, I'm replying about the Docker help us for the installation on a cloud server. Now we have simply an easy Jupyter notebook on the Google Colab. But if we think for example, the organization, the open source organization I met last week, if they want to try the system, the best solution is to have a Docker configuration file, or some Docker configuration file that they can use to install the system on a cloud server in order to try. And so this is my opinion. And okay, other question about is the selection criteria based on the interview that will be scheduled later? And okay, yes, Bobby, thank you for the answer. Other question? Yeah, I see the raised hand of Peter.
Yeah, I just want to ask about regarding the Docker board, if the functionality that the Docker board will provide is the response of the large language model.
Yeah, yes. Sorry, the question is if we are using a large language model at the moment or in the future.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm just asking what is the functionality that the Docker will provide.
Docker provide us a way to easily install a modular architecture, and also to handle the execution, because Docker help us also the service management. For example,
I see.
to
But I'm asking about if the Docker container will be deployed on the server to provide the response of the large language model. Is that what you mean?
yes, the is for the installation, and also to create to create an automatic installation for the AI chatbot, which use the large language model, and also use the vector database, and also use an in-memory database, and so on.
Yeah, thanks
I
a
know
lot.
is okay. Thank you. Okay. Also, other question about the.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Jay. This is Arun this side. I think we spoke in LinkedIn about where we are right now. So you said that we guys are creating structure, the modular architecture structure. So are we waiting for the mentees being selected, or is it like we are making some progress in that area? Sorry if I missed out on something because of not attending the previous session.
Yeah, I think I missed the question.
I'm audible again. I'm audible.
Yeah, but the voice is not very clear, Arun. Could you either write on the in the chat box, or could you speak more clearly in a louder voice?
Yes, thank you, Aaron. You can also write the question on the chat. I try to reply to the list. Okay. Okay. Someone asked about the cloud. The cloud is not important, the provider at the moment. I also found some on-demand cloud. Maybe container based, mostly of the scope and the ship zone. Okay. Based on the selection criteria, will the interview be split into 4 parts? Okay, where are we at the
I can
moment?
answer that if you
Okay,
want, Gianluca.
sorry, thank you. Yeah, the question of Aaron, my question is, where are we at the moment in terms of application dev? Okay, now we have a POC, a proof of concept. Sorry, the connection is not the best today. Yeah, so we have a POC at the moment, a proof of concept, and we will. I'm working on the API. I'm trying to remove the Gradio tool for the interface and to transform the current version of an API. And after that, we can start to work on the other part. Okay, on the JavaScript part for the front end, also on the architecture part, and on the Docker part, and at the end to install the system on cloud, and try also to improve the AI model part. I don't know if it's more clear.
I wanted to hello Amira. I wanted to ask about like the model. Is the Zephyr model like the final like we are choosing, or we have to explore more models yet?
Okay, thank you for the question, because also I also received some question about the other model. No, it's not the we are not related to that model. We will investigate and try other model, but pay attention, because we it's mandatory to stay under Apache 2 license. So with also the license part in GitHub repo documentation, and so we will use open source model, but not open source like, I don't know, Llama or commercial open source model, because they can create some issue with license. But the idea is to investigate also other open source models.
Okay, thank you. And I wanted
Thank
to
you.
ask about like that Tripum mentioned about the RISC-V support. So like, what was it about? I didn't hear it properly.
Sorry, which support?
The RISC-V meeting,
Five.
RIS SCV meeting.
That one. Gianluca, you had a meeting with one more open source community recently.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I met Rafael. I don't know if you, yeah, you are in the loop, Tripur and Bobby too.
yeah.
I met Rafael from RISC-D, and they told me that want to try the system, and the interest is in the for new user, to support the new user, and but also they mentioned another use case, which is the help for developers, like to have instructions or code samples in terms of suggestions. So for the future, not at the moment, but for the future, we can also think to another use case related to the for developer users.
Okay, actually, I have the experience in RISC-V. I mean, we call it RISC-V, and it's the set of instructions that we have to develop the like chip from. So like, I just wanted to ask that's why.
Okay, excellent. We'll talk. Okay, excellent. And about other question, okay, Peter, can I help with the backend and LLM part? Yes, I think in the previous meeting, as Bobby said, it's important to have motivation in that project, but background, we can start with a training phase. So someone can support us in the backend and LLM part. Some other can help us in the front end part. Or I also met some people on Discord which have a background on cloud and Docker architecture. So it's important to have different skills. For us, it's very interesting, all the skills. Okay, other question. I have created a chatbot using Llama 3 on Streamlit. The response time for chat was from 9 to 15 seconds. Okay. Okay, good. Other experience, Llama 3, yeah, I read the license. At the moment, it's not interesting for us just to test, but cannot integrate Llama 3. Mm, the reason is the license. Streamlit is quite similar to Gradio and good, but we are removing this kind of tool because we want to use the standard JavaScript framework like React. It's good also for time. The open position, not open position, but we are looking for. I don't know, Bobby, if you want to reply to that question. Thank you.
That's why
Thank you.
I unmuted. And can I share my screen for a moment too as well? If that's possible for a second. Thank you. Okay, so more share screen. Okay, so I'm going to talk right now about the interview process that's coming up and the positions available, more like the business side of the mentorship program. So I am just very impressed, I have to tell you, as I was putting everyone's name down, and hearing the conversations and seeing, you know, how everybody is so involved. I am very excited for the quality of applicants that are here. And I do want to say, when the question was asked on how many positions, I'm going to answer unlimited. There's only one paid position, and that person winds up doing all of the work that the volunteers don't. So they do have, you know, an additional responsibility to get the project work done. They are like the project manager for the mentors to filter information through. So again, there's going to be different teams because everybody has specialized experience, whether it's back end, front end design, whether it's business, marketing, technical writing. There is a spot for you. And although you might not get a stipends at the end, you will get exactly what the mentee manager gets, and that is an education. If there's any time left over in any meeting, I will teach you the latest technology that I've just learned. And Tripur and Gianluca obviously will do the same thing. This is going to be a great learning experience in more ways than just creating an AI chatbot. You're going to learn how to work with teams. You're going to learn how to see how open source actually functions correctly. Hyperledger is, as far as I'm concerned, the gold standard of open source. I'm sure a lot of other Linux projects would take me up on that, but I'll bet that the Hyperledger does it better than anyone, just by the fact that last year, Gianluca and Tripur were mentees in my documentation AI endeavor, and now they're running their own project. It is amazing how far they've come. So I'm very excited about that. So there is so many ways to contribute. If you see on my screen, this is the official page of the mentee program. You can always find it under community mentorship program. And then ours is the Hyperledger FAQ Labs. This is what's expected. Oh, sorry, I hit it again. This is what's expected. And then as mentors, we'll be required to put down deliverables for each week that we meet. We can meet bi-weekly, but I like meeting weekly because it keeps it very consistent and easier to get stuff done. There's always a recording of the meeting. What we're going to try to do from now on, I'm going to show you mentee information. This is where, no, that's not it. Mentee candidates. This is where I've been keeping track of these meetings. So each time there's a meeting, and I have to go get last week's attendance, but I keep the attendees so we can see who's here. This week I'm going to be working on this, so I will send out, when the Hyperledger folks let us know who the mentee applicants are, and as soon as I get that list, I assume everybody's going to be part of the project. But we get that list, we set up the interviews, we will send you an email with a link to this page. We will have open dates, the different interview people. So the people who will be doing the interviews, whether it's Gianluca, Swapnil, me, or Tripur, we'll have our names here. We'll have the different dates, and you will put your date. We'll have it set up better so you can just fill in a slot, and then at that time, there'll be a Zoom link up here that will work for all of the calls, and it'll be really easy for you to schedule and get in. And then once we get that done, you know, we will have a better idea of how to put you on what teams, whether it's the technical team, the technical writing team, the front end design team. I also have a business team because, again, I'm going to sit on my soapbox in a minute. But I just want to make sure I get all the housekeeping out of the way. So once you have the Linux Foundation ID and you're logged in, you can edit pages. I urge everyone here. So this is the first place I'm going to look when I get your information. Well, the second place. First place I'm going to look is when I get your information from Min saying these are your candidate pools. I get to see your cover letter and information about you. And I am going to, I'll tell you right now, as an interview, I've been doing blockchain job markets for a really, really long time now. And I will tell you, one of the first things I look at is your social media presence. So your LinkedIn, make sure that looks good, that kind of thing. I really do look at your presence in the world that you're putting out there, because that is very important. So once we get the interview, and the interview questions will be standard, we're working on them now. They'll be done in the next day or two, so that no matter what interview person you signed up for, you're getting the same questions. And then we're going to meet and discuss each candidate. But as candidates go, we're encouraging you, like I put my page here, and I think Peter this is Peter's page, to create your own mentee information page like Peter. Put your thoughts down. It doesn't have to be anything exciting. It can be just where you want to talk about in our next meeting, and then we will get to you in the agenda, and we will definitely look at this section here when we are doing the interview process. We want to know how you feel about the project. What your ideas are. So if you want to create a page for yourself under our Hyperledger Labs AI FAQ, just go to this tab, Mentee Information, and hit the edit button, or I'm sorry, go to create, and just create a page with your name as the title. So you would put your name here, and then put any thoughts or any experience you have with LLMs, front ends, whatever your thoughts are, and then just save that page. And then you will be listed there as well. So that's just another way to, okay, where did I just go? Who knows? Another way to get involved. Oh, wait. Sorry about that. I jumped around. Any questions about that? Let's see if I can find the chat. Nope, no hands raised. So that's basically what this week looks like. Again, we will email you a link to the mentee candidates page, where we will have the Zoom link and all available slots for you to put your name in. And then when those slots come up, each one of us as the mentees will answer that. So I am finished with today. I could do another presentation, a quick presentation, which might show you where I think this project might wind up. If anybody wants to sit around for that, I don't know, or we could just end the call. It's up to you guys. So,
Hi, I would love to see where this project would go.
okay. So by a show of hands, if anybody wants me to do the presentation that I gave to the trade finance group, I will.
Definitely yes, Bobby. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see if I can get this PowerPoint going. So on Thursday, I gave a presentation, and I will, well, actually just give you the presentation. Everything's there. Hold on. And thank you for humoring me and practicing this presentation. Okay, so here we go. So I gave a presentation on Thursday for blockchain powering generosity. I have been working, give you a little background of myself. I've been in the community basically since Hyperledger started. I've been a computer teacher, computer scientist, and a computer teacher. I have a master's in technical education, an undergraduate's in business management, and an undergraduate in computer science. When I got I'm so old that when I got my computer science degree, it was actually called decision sciences and computers. They weren't sure computers in the 80s were going to be as big as they were. So I have been teaching software programs and running incubators for entrepreneurs and judging contests for entrepreneurs and getting involved in new businesses. So when I heard about blockchain, I decided I was never going to teach anything else again. It was fascinating. I started a company called Ledger Academy, and I've been learning, teaching, and creating ever since, especially with Hyperledger because of its open source. I did get involved in the consensus community, and I did go to all of those Ethereum-based kind of stuff in the beginning, but I didn't find the community as welcoming as Hyperledger. So that's why I stuck with Hyperledger, and I have gotten the best education. Ledger Academy has gone on to write the courseware for Hyperledger, for the edX Foundation. We've written courseware for a ton of other people. And I guess at this point in my career, I want to start writing things for myself. So just put that little piece in the back of your mind. So during my time at Ledger Academy, I ran meetup groups. That's the best way to get involved in the community, is start a meetup group in your area. I use meetup.com. So does Hyperledger. So I am the director of the Princeton chapter of Hyperledger. If there's not one in your town, you should create one. David Boswell will show you how to do it. The Princeton Hyperledger group has over 600 members. I'm also the coordinator for the Princeton Blockchain and AI group. And that group has been around for 5 or 6 years and has over 2,000 members at this point. And then I run a meetup group, Ledger Academy, where I teach courses, and that's a paid meetup group. The other ones are all complimentary. You can come to the classes, come to whatever I'm teaching. During the time at the Princeton meetup group, back in 2019, we were getting, let me go on to the next slide here. So back in 2019, we were getting really, really bored of talking about blockchain when we met all the time. This is what we wanted to see if it could be done. So I took a project outline from the Microsoft Social Impact Group. I judged a contest of theirs in Washington, D.C., and I took the curriculum. And what the curriculum was a 6-point or checkpoint series you would go through, answering the questions in each of the checkpoints. And at the end, you would have built a social impact blockchain project. So I brought that back to the Princeton group, and we decided we were going to try to implement this using Hyperledger because of my connections there. So the Giving Chain started, and that was a social impact project that tried to track through the Sawtooth Lake blockchain donations through the transport to the recipient. So it was the D2R donor, no, R2D app, the recipient to donor application. And we'll talk about that in a second. And that was a great project, but it was basically the end of the giving cycle. It had nothing to do with the management of a company or a donation. So that's why I am now involved in CFI Give and circularity finance, where they're incentivizing with a tokenized economy the giving process. And again, Ledger Academy is sponsoring this whole thing as a company. So again, the Giving Chain project in 2019, we got together with alliance of youth leaders of the United States, some local farmers. We gathered giving bags, we gave them to homeless vets, and we stocked the food bank. It was a great project, and it won an award. The only problem was, if you can see any of these giving bags, they all have these little tags on them, which were placed on by us, and they were barcodes that would be ripped off each time a donation moved from someone's front door to the transporter to the recipient, and it would have to be scanned in, and it was so inefficient. It was unbelievable. So the project was just a proof of concept. We did spin up a Sawtooth blockchain. We did scan the item, like not all of the items, because we, some of them were just farm vegetables and stuff. And we scanned them in and we tracked them, like we said. So the proof of concept worked out, but it was very, again, labor intensive getting this off the ground. So the next step was the next year. So after we won the award for that project, we applied it to Hyperledger's mentorship program. And we had a mentor. His name was Hardick, and he was fabulous. And we had, again, other people join the mentorship program. So that year we ran 3 projects at the same time, the same Princeton Giving Chain. We supplied, this is a flood zone in Uttarakhand, India. We supplied goods there. And this, one of the women, Madhu, who worked on the project, was involved in trying to get health products to hospitals in rural India right after COVID, because that supply chain completely went away and these women were desperate. So we did a project there, and this was more based on an NGO model where they requested donations and the money got sent. And then it was all done through this D2R2 app and NFTs. So now a donor who wanted to give would just put the product outside and take a picture of it, and that picture in the system became a NFT that would be transferred upon the transporter picking up the donation and then transferred again to the recipient, or the metadata would be added as this donation tracked through. So it was basically digital twinning your donation. And that worked great. It was a great concept. But again, it didn't have anything to do with the missing piece, how to manage all these projects. So here comes a new idea with working with DAOs. So now they want blockchain powering generosity to automate profits to nonprofits. So this is going to explore how automatic donations from company profits, especially we're hoping all green endeavors in these corporations, will make a sustainable, more reliable future, because these donors or these recipients can now count on these aid groups can now count on donations, rather than having to try to think of every year how to raise donations, how to do it. It will all be automated through the system. So again, let me give you an idea how this works. So CFI Give, this is powered by a DAO, and so the giving chain would be the DAO, and the donors would come in either from Ledger Academy, business revenues, or anyone who wants to donate to the giving chain. So what happens to the donor, the donations would come into a super admin wallet, who we'd set the donate, like I happen to be the donor here, but if you have your own charitable organization, put your thinking cap on for your charitable organization. So the money would come into the super admin wallet, and these are all smart contracts that we call programmable donations. So I will have a primary wallet set up in the system, and then the sub wallets would all be percentage. So for instance, 10% would go to, and for instance, this project that I'm talking about right now could be feeding the food banks in the winter. So if we want to run a project to get food to the food banks in the winter, and we say we're taking donations for that, it would filter in through the primary wallet, and these would all be sub wallets that automatically would get the percentage that they're due. So for administrative, that's paying the salaries of the people working on the project. Marketing, that's letting people know the project is happening. Programs, that would be the actual, boots on the ground, getting stuff done. And the donation contract, that would be, if any of these donations come in and have further donations. So for instance, and then the giving chain with the Firefly solution and the NFTs would be that end process, whether it's a financial donation or a physical donation in an emergency, it can all be tracked through that. So all of these donations would now be automatically generated and programmed in to do what they want by the DAO. And again, this is all, I'm going to move fast through this because it's just, this is the giving part. It creates a decentralized financial unit, but this is all run by, this is the interface, again, gorgeous interface for us to take an idea if we want to see what a good interface looks like, exactly what you're doing. You're either raising funds or you're donating. And this is Know Your Nonprofit. So you can register your nonprofit with CFI Give. And it works that way too. Right now it's running on XDC, which is a publicly traded cryptocurrency about worth 4 cents. They're going to be going on a Polygon network, Ethereum based, because this is Ethereum based tokenomics behind this. So this will be interoperable with other blockchains, and you would be able to pick when you're building your nonprofit. And how it works with NFTs is that if you want to be involved, now this is, again, I told you to put the Ledger Academy part on the side. So if you wanted to be a part of the decision-making of Ledger Academy, which this is, I'm creating this DAO during this summer so that people can do this, you would purchase the Ledger Academy membership DAO. And I don't know how much that would cost right now. It's still on a test net. And then you would have that membership NFT here, and then you could get into all the meetings about Ledger Academy, what projects Ledger Academy accepts to work on, the percentages that would get filtered in when Ledger Academy gets funded, and they would all show up here. So it's definitely a way to manage. And again, you would select a donation, the giving chain winner fundraiser would be here, you would select it, and then your donation would automatically go to those percentage based wallets. Then circularity finance is the way to create these microeconomies to govern this whole process. and develop the important D apps that sit on top of this. Again, I'm not going to go over the idea behind decentralized applications. So again, once you have these decentralized marketplaces now, so anyone can come in and buy entrepreneur rights for Ledger Academy, as well as propose projects for Ledger Academy or the Giving Chain for that matter to take on in a decentralized peer-to-peer marketplace. Lending and borrowing platforms, when you apply this kind of DAO to trade finance, opens up bill of ladings, all that kind of debt management to a simple program smart contract based environment. And donation portals, making donations easy for companies that are sustainable. And once you have these are advanced, this was a finance lecture, so I'm not going to get into the financial tools that these D apps will now open up for your own micro economy, but these are them. So it's yield farming, staking, liquidity mining, and yield aggregators. And this is the circularity finance timeline. Again, that's not that interesting. So building a microeconomy. So I'm going to show you real quick what I did. So here's the CFI dashboard where you build your microeconomy. So now Ledger Academy is going to build a microeconomy. And once that Ledger Academy microeconomy is built, Ledger Academy and whoever has that membership token will be able to create proposals for Ledger Academy. Now I'm proposing a lot of proposals for the incubative companies that Ledger Academy touches. But today I'm going to talk about ebooks and how we are going to write ebooks. And one of the what I like about ebooks are they short. They are what people want now. No one is buying on Amazon. This is all through KDP. I work through KDP. No one, Kindle Direct Publishing. No one's buying huge, large textbooks anymore. They're buying these little micro ebooks and they're getting the information they need. Boom. So that's one of the endeavors for Ledger Academy. I've got an association with KDP. I can get the barcode, the IBSN numbers, and I can get that started. But I need writers and I need people and ideas to create this vast Ledger Academy ebook library. So that's one of my first proposals. Anybody else has a proposal for Ledger Academy? Great. I have a proposal for Ledger Academy that we're going to market an AI chatbot tool to companies. We'll advise them on it under the Ledger consulting arm, and we will implement the chatbot for their enterprise company. First, you guys got to build me that chatbot though. So counting on you. So moving along. So you would connect to the wallet that is going to be the main wallet. And it's, again, right now XDC based, but XDC is a Ethereum based token on the latest. I'm not sure what 1150.75. I'm not sure what it is, but it's beyond 1175. So again, if this is for financial people, they were not sure how to connect to a wallet. So we just showed them very briefly that you'd MetaMask wallet, you'd make sure you're on the test net of XDC, and then you'd verify it there. You'd make sure the gateway is Circularity Finance and that you're on testnet XDC. And then you would connect. And once you connect, you have the ability to deploy your tokens, create your NFT collection. That's your administrative NFTs. Those are the ones that buy you membership into making proposals. You also create a token, which is what incentivizes the community. So for instance, the Ledger Academy token, when I'm finished with all this, is going to be the know, like you're exchanging knowledge. Isn't that cute? So the know token, once I create it, will be what's dispersed in airdrops and to all community members for their to incentivize them in the community. Verification, if you're creating a business, which I did the KYB because I wanted my Ledger Academy business approved. You have to give your tax ID, your government tax ID number, and this is a global product. So whatever, they're looking up the requirements for different countries to add them on there too, so that the KYC is built in. Clicker. These are the two screens. This creates the token for the membership. You decide the supply, you describe it, and then it generates a token. Same thing with create an NFT. These are the NFTs. You pick a picture for it. And when people buy these NFTs, they're buying into projects and buying into working on these projects. Like, again, the ebook for KDP on what we're working on would be a great idea. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. This is the Ledger Academy membership token. You would just engage this contract and you would then be able to propose projects for the Ledger Academy incubator. And then this is the token right now. First time in testnet, I named it knowledge. It's too long. I'm going to call it the no. And this would be what you would mint to be involved in specific projects. You know, mint nonprofit, it becomes your proof of donation. So for instance, if this is the knowledge for the winter food bank, once you mint that, you've donated and that's your proof of donation. Again, it's really easy to set up. And then there's those advanced tools like dropping the NFTs into token wallets, staking, and all these other advanced tools. You can launch your DAO. And see the Ledger DAO is right here. It's active on this testnet. And here's what a proposal looks like. So in the giving chain and the testnet, there's two proposals. One is for the food banks in summer, and the other one is food banks in winter. And if you had purchased the ledger for this, you would be able to vote on actions and execute them. Again, that's it. That kind of shows you when I was talking a little bit about the business end of this and where this could go. Everything in Hyperledger is open source. We can write an ebook on every single project, program, concept. I mean, that's where Ledger Academy is going, first project. And within that project of creating Ledger Academy, I'm going to call it the Library of Ledger Academy ebooks, there'll be opportunities, I'm hoping, and it will be all automatically run through a DAO. So does anybody have any comments or questions since we're at the top?
Yes, thank you, Bobby. I already said I love this project. I also, I don't know if you know, I also joined the previous meeting on Tuesday, if I remember right. Yeah, it's very interesting project in my opinion, and I see it's a new interest group. Is it new?
No, the interest group that I gave this to is called Supply Chain and Trade Finance, and they meet on every other Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
And they just, because this is the circularity finance, that model where the community is incentivized by tokens they made, works really nice in a trade finance perspective when you're talking about getting things from a truck to a port to a ship to a dock and then to a store. All that credit and bill of lading and all that can be done within that microeconomy created for that specific things. So it's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you. I also see some comments and opinion in chat.
Oh, I'm glad that was good. And then I really have learned some good. And again, every time you come to one of our meetings, we're hoping to teach you something about a new software program or a new DAO structure or, you know, a new, obviously AI tool. I know Tripor is, if you have any questions about AI tools, ask Tripor. She knows them all.
Thank you, Bobby.
Oh, well, you do. You should use this for that. I'm like, okay. So we'll see everybody. We'll probably, once the May 10th deadline passes, everybody will get a notice emailed to them, and then we will have something set up for the interviews. And I will email everybody about the Zoom link and the dates. If the mentors could send me in either an email or LinkedIn times during the next business days. Let me go back to, I have to, hold on, end slideshow so I can see my screen. So the interview application ends May 10th. The review is between May 15th and the 24th. I think we're doing the interviews starting next week. Is that right? Or do we start the end of this week?
In 15. I will check.
Like I thought we had the 15th, so I thought we'd do the interviews like the 15th to the 20th, like that week. Let me see a
Okay, the
calendar.
official dates are from 13 to 24.
So within the week of the 13th, we will have this filled out with time slots and mentors' schedules for you to be able to, as mentees, select an interview time. We will get that done this week for you so that next week when the interviews start, you can just jump onto this and select a time, and then we will send you an email verifying that time, and then we'll meet you at the interview.
Okay.
Any questions? No. I will be in contact with the mentors about their schedules this week.
Thank you,
Have a
Bobby.
good week, everybody. Thank you, Gianluca.
Thank you so
Thank
Thank
much.
you.
you. You too.
End my meeting here. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Have a good week. Yes, I can share the slide. Thank you.